The following is rated F for fairness. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Welcome to the audio show.
It's quite interesting that, just the whole idea of theater has changed drastically within the past decade, right? It has changed so much that as far as theater is concerned right now, people think in so much different ways rather than just entertainment and just what you're watching and just like, straight line that is not even funny. The other day, they played this whole thing with Candace, right? Where they were basically playing that Candace does not have the aptitude to do the job. Not that because she's a woman, she can't do the job. No. Candace was just not probably great at that particular job, or she wasn't excelling or exceeding or showing any different thing. Now they have got Delicia into another place like whatever it is that Candace has done, and it was run by women. So in other words, the chauvinist male point of view, because it was one of the examples of the chauvinist male point of view. Let's jump into this.
So, I just had a very interesting meeting with a podcast owner here in Miami, and I don't know. I don't want to seem like I'm tattletelling, but I went and saw Candace the other day. I didn't tell you because I just didn't want to get in the mix. I feel like I'm just doing too much already, overly inserting myself. But it's nothing being done over there. Like, I saw some folding chairs and a camera, and I asked her what's her normal time pace, and she said this is normal. So I come here, and this lady here just did her whole build out of a 9,000 square foot facility. She's pregnant, 9 months, and it took her 2 months.
All right. So this is what I thought they were playing. That there are different levels to how things work. I believe what they were trying to play was, hey, Candace is the girl that gets these opportunities because of her husband, and she hasn't capitalized on those opportunities. And I was right. I was actually right. I was absolutely right into what they were trying to play. Because now they're showing you that, yes, there are other women out there that can do a better job than what Candace can do. But for some reason, and I saw this, and again, I'm not trying to be combative. I'm just trying to show people where they are in the storylines and what they're trying to do, because I don't believe that that's what they're trying to do. But sometimes people form these opinions and you're like, come on, friends, if you're going to say that, you have to have actual evidence to show, otherwise that's what it is. You can't use one skit and then you build this huge opinion and whatever else it is. But that's where we are now in comedy. I mean, look at the Kevin Hart roast. As far as I'm concerned, it's a roast, but for some people else, it's something else, and it mean this and it mean that, and all right.
And I mean, it's beautiful. And she said that, the time frame that Candace is doing is just way too long. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I feel the same way. I'm just giving her a little grace because I know her. Yeah, so it's like me giving y'all grace because y'all ain't never did no podcast. So at the end of the day, I'm giving her grace. Yeah, I do agree. She do need to step it up, but I got that part though. What y'all need to be doing, y'all need to be pressing. Have y'all been pressing? I know y'all said y'all been meeting up, but have y'all been practicing like conversations and stuff?
Now that is a good question. Now see what Wayne is doing again. So the two things are working the same way again as far as Wayne is concerned. So now Wayne is saying I'm not really so sure that Candace is actually doing what she's supposed to be actually doing on the time, but he's giving her he's trying to give her some amount of leeway, some amount of time. Now he's asking Delicia just about the same thing. Have you been practicing? Because yes, being on a podcast takes time and it takes effort, and there are certain nuances into being able to hold a conversation. This is something you're gonna have to learn, because holding a conversation, anybody can talk, but if you're going to talk on very, very straight and hardline points, the audience knows what you're saying. Are you communicating correctly? Those are things you have to practice. It's not about gender. It's just what the job entails.
Practicing, yeah, we have plenty of conversations. I mean, that seems like that's all we do is conversate. And we have a lot of different topics, but you mean like sit down and really like...
Yes, like just do your part, because I got this part, okay? I know Candace might be a little slow, but if you just do your part, I want you to be focused on your part, because I haven't seen rehearsals or anything, so I'm probably going to put that together. I'm pretty sure y'all haven't really do that, and Candace actually like just let me have that.
Okay, so now that I know that we need to be doing the rehearsing outside of the space then I'm gonna set that up because I figured once we at least have some chairs or something in there, it's like it was a few folding chairs. I don't know.
So she's focused on the job Candace is supposed to be doing because that's what Delicia is good at. But yes, again, Wayne is correct. They should be practicing the topics to see exactly where they could go with a topic. How are they going to finish up a topic? How are they going to finish one topic and get to the next topic? How do they work on? Okay, take what we do for for moderator night, and it's a very slim example, but it is magnified times that as to what a podcast is, because that's exactly what it is. You know, each person talk for a certain period of time. I know. Don't don't get on it. I know we're working on it. We're working on getting the timelines down so that way, you know, what I mean, we when we're communicating, those points are very sharp and precise. But that's exactly what he's saying. Are you working on that? Being able to get a point out quick enough. In other words, you write on the point that you want to answer to, and you can get that out in say 2 minutes time. That's what he's doing right now. He's asking her, does she have her point? Again, it is not about gender. It's just simply, look here, man. That's what a podcast entail. That's so. In other words, if you're going to do a podcast, you need to have the aptitude to do a podcast. If you're going to say you're going to do the decor for a podcast, you should know what that looks like, and you should know exactly how to execute that. That's all Wayne was saying. It was not whatever else it is that people were trying to come up with. It wasn't. Y'all were wrong. I'm sorry, friends. You know, and I'm not trying to gloat, but I'm trying to make sure that when you watch it, you see exactly where they're trying to go with each possible line. That's what they're saying about the Candace character. They're saying the Candace character sometimes get a bit entitled to the point where she doesn't focus on what she's supposed to be doing and she's focusing on something else. And that can happen too from a man's space where I'm not focusing on what I'm supposed to be doing and I'm focusing on something else.
Y'all can rehearse at the house. Cause y'all be actually at the house, so just rehearse there. Is anybody around you? I don't want to see it.
No one's around me.
Okay, well, you got a lot of other stuff you got going on. You got time for work. Well, I ain't getting your personal business. I just can't hear about doing it. But just, put y'all energy into what y'all supposed to do.
Wait, hold on. My personal business? What are you talking about? I got a lot of other stuff going on.
I said you got time. I'm saying, you got time for everything else. Just put the time in your part. I got Candace. I got it.
Well, it just seems like all the girls have a lot going on in their personal business. And I guess I'll be in charge of setting that up. You know, I just want to be in charge.
But you have a lot going on in your personal, you see? But she also has a lot going on in her personal business. In other words, again, he's teaching that lesson. Focus on the business that pays. That's what I'm telling them. Focus on the business that pays. And I think that that's actually has always been Win's message inside of the skits, but I don't know how people get it. That it, you know, I still baffle and I still marvel. If y'all have data to the contrary, send it to me. That because O'Neill is a data guy. Like if you're going to show me a couple clips and say, oh well, you know, O'Neill, I've seen a pattern of 5 skits and those 5 skits represent that. Sure, you got me. I got a case. But when you're showing me only one skit and there's nothing in the one skit, all right, okay.
So I'll be in the charge of setting up a mock podcast setup. Okay.
Yeah, just sit in the house or something and y'all go over the conversations. I got this part.
Okay, but listen, if you ever need me to step in with Candace, I got you. Just say the word, okay?
I'm gonna need you to be the best podcaster you can be when it's time. Be prepared. Preparation is faith. I got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now you got me feeling like a little tattletale, but okay.
I love you. No, I know you ain't no telltale. Know that. You keep the most secrets I ever. If I ever need somebody to keep a secret, it's you.
So there you go. I mean, I wanted to cover this because I felt like it was one of those topics that went left field. And I said, I don't think that that's what they're trying to do with the writing. Friends, again, I don't know what the writers are writing because I'm not there writing with them, but there are certain writing styles that you use when you're writing an actual play or a skit that you kind of can formulate the story, maybe because I've seen it so many different times and I've worked with a lot of different scripts. So some of it is familiar, some of it is not, because sometimes they go basically off the cuff and some of the storylines are disjointed. But I knew for sure in this one that was not the what they were trying to play. They were trying to show you, right? They're trying to show you Candace's thing, which is not focusing on what she's supposed to do. That's all it is. So the question is, do you know people? And I'm not talking now just females. I'm talking about also males who don't focus on the task at hand and view everything else? That's the question. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Talk to y'all soon.